Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to City Skylines 2. My name is Brett, and today we are back in Sonder County, but this time with my own custom map. I know, I've restarted the series about 2 other times, but this time it'll be better, I promise. I promise, bro. Please, just stay. I promise. So, I made a poll on YouTube about what you guys wanted to see next from the channel, and of course, in terms of Sonder County related things, I made a vote, and you guys agreed that the highway infrastructure that came with the base map that I created, not to brag, not to toot my own horn, but I custom made it. You can download it down in the description below. Anyways, yeah, you guys said that there should be some improvements to highway infrastructure. So I took some inspiration from my own mountain highways that are near me because I live in New York, which is also near the Appalachian Mountains. And if anybody knows anything about the Appalachian Mountains, it's that they are absolutely massive, and anything like a highway going across, near, or through them, it's just completely absurd. But anyways, regardless of this, I took the knowledge of living near a lot of hilly and mountainous roads throughout my whole life, and I've noticed that when people create highways that have to go around a mountain, instead of just cutting through them and following the contours of the map, they literally just carve out a piece of the mountain, and then they just run a road, so then it's nice and flat, right? And that's something that I noticed, so I took some inspiration of that, and I used that to redo the mountainside of this highway because it looks really, really ugly. If you just saw when I reloaded the old save before I placed a new map, the new road on the map, it just looked really disgusting. And on top of that, there weren't trees everywhere, and I think that's kind of unrealistic. Mountains, especially near the water too, like, yeah, trees would without a doubt grow in this area. And keep in mind with this area right here, because it's going to become one of many little tiny rest stops that I'm going to put around the county because I think they're cute and fun. One thing that I do regret doing during this video is not having the Move It mod for about 90% of the video. So that kind of leads me to think, like, okay, maybe in the future I'll go in and I'll, like, fix up that area, tighten it up a little bit, because, the rest stop I feel like isn't super realistic, because I feel like it should be closer to the road. There shouldn't be, like, that grass gap right there. It should just be, like, because, well, I guess it's not really a rest stop. It's more of a pull-off point, which I think makes a lot more sense. But, I mean, regardless, I still think it came out nice. I just think that, like, again, that grass patch on there, it makes it not look as much of a pull-out point, and it looks more like, I guess, like, community garden. It kind of looks like that. But I kind of also wanted it to be a little sightseeing thing. It was near the county's biggest lake, and it literally overlooks the lake. So I'm like, okay, obviously there's going to be people who are just going to go here just to see, the lake, and I feel like that this would be a good touristy area. So naturally enough, I put plenty of parking spaces so you could be a jerk and park right there on those side parking areas so that you can block everyone else's view like a little dit. So that's funny. That's the classic American, hey, how are we gonna make basic tourist attractions? Yeah, we're just gonna kind of like make it really inconvenient for everybody, except if you get the good parking spots. America runs on Duncan? Nah, we run off of parking spots. I mean, am I wrong though? Like, I feel like as of now, as of late, like, parking has just become just an issue, I think. I think it's because that there's, like, just more people, driving in America. I think that's the thing, Like, Gen Z, we're a pretty big generation, I'd say. I'm part of Gen Z. And a lot of people in my generation are starting to drive. And it still seems to be a pretty hot topic among impressionable teens. So, naturally enough, the parking has become an issue. I can't even find a spot at Planet Fitness. That ticks me off a little bit. But anyways, talking about the pull-off point here, I decided to put a little food stand. I would put a truck attached to the trailer to make it look realistic, but whenever I try and put down those static vehicle props, they just disappear. Like, they just fade out of existence. If you guys saw that with the semi-truck I tried to place down, because originally I was going to put one on the side, like, nothing happened. And then I decided, okay, maybe this area would probably have some sort of lights, right? Like street lights. So I figured, okay, if this is flat enough, I think that the county board would probably have overground power lines. The county, I know I originally mentioned that it was going to be based off of the Midwest. looking at the map now, it kind of looks more like New York, like northeastern United States, which, you know, that's not bad. I think it still has some elements of the Midwest. Like, there's still a lot of very flat areas, but I don't think it's that flat to where, like, yeah, like, it's not true Midwest. I feel like it's like the Midwest when it's super close to the Rocky Mountains. Like, that's what I'm probably envisioning a lot more. But regardless, I still think that the map is overall pretty well structured, and, you know, again, with a little bit of terraforming, right? I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I made the roads and the highways in this map purposefully bad, so then you can go in and fix them when you download the map and you play it, and, you know, you make me happy because you played my map. But anyways, yeah, no, like, I have always thought that. I was like, okay, there has to be, you know, like, some incentive to fix these roads. So I made them purposefully awful so that you can go in and fix them, which makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, it makes sense to be able to force yourself and go in and fix the roads. So I made a lot of areas in this county purposefully bad, but I'm not going to go in and fix them unless if people actually vote on me fixing them. In this instance, you guys voted for having the highways fixed, which, you know, I think that's a good idea, right? However, this video is kind of split into two because obviously you guys would get bored with me just placing down trees everywhere and placing roads down. So there is the first town. It's a little township. I have not decided on a name for it, but it also includes a small little commercial area. So, you know, stay tuned for that. I think that's going to look pretty sick. And this is when I built the second rest stop. So this one was actually a rest stop. It wasn't just a pull-off point. It was actually a rest stop that was inspired off of a lot of the rest stops that are in the Hudson Valley of New York that kind of are a little bit smaller, a little bit nestled into the mountains. I kind of think like closer to the city, but not really. And a lot of these tend to be small industrial parks, like very, very small industrial parks. And most of the industry there is just warehouses, which is exactly what I was going for here. And I was glad to find that. And you know what else I did? I actually made my my own gas station right here. I figured that there's no gas stations that are actually lawn. I wish that the game had some rest areas and rest stops in the game because, like, it would just look good. Like, imagine if all those roofs were the same color, and imagine if this whole building was a placeable building, and it would be like a landmark building too, so you couldn't place like more than one of it. Or I feel like that there should be like 3 different variations of them. So originally I was gonna do like a green thumbed theme. Like, I want to imagine that this place is probably torn down and they remodeled it, given the modernity of the buildings that are in the area. But I didn't really agree on like the idea of that. So that's why I placed down the solar panels, because I was like, originally I was like, oh, okay. I think that could probably work out. That probably look cool. But no, I decided not. I decided against it. But what I didn't decide against was this parking area, which I think definitely makes sense. A lot of rest stops, especially here in America, they're very lawn. Like, they're just really, really lawn for no apparent reason other than to serve the population. So I figured that this place would probably be like an Applebee's. Like, there's no doubt it wouldn't be. I mean, look at the building. It looks like an Applebee's. But I mean, hey, Applebee's, the place where you go if you really need to throw up, but you can't throw up. I don't even know what I'm saying. It's just like, I never liked Applebee's, I'm not gonna lie. Actually, no, I've never gone to Applebee's, so I guess I'm a liar. But I remember my dad did one time with my little brother, and they went, they ate, and then they puked out the food because they thought it was absolutely disgusting. So sorry if I grossed out any squeamish people out there, but, you know, that's just, I guess, how the cookie crumbles, you know? Anyways, yeah, so this was the rest area. Again, I tried to refrain from installing a lot of mods, because in the last series of Sonder County, that county was kind of unsavable. Like, it was really bad, and the only reason why it was bad was because of the fact that I installed way too many mods and I didn't use half of them, so it was just bloatware that I was putting. It's like that saying, we have everything and the kitchen sink. It made the game very unuser-friendly to me, because I had to navigate through a bunch of menus in order to place stuff down, and then with the Regions packs consistently coming out, just adding more stuff to the game, I was like, okay, I need to lighten up on the mods. And while I do agree, I could probably, you know, maybe possibly, like, get rid of some of the mods, right, and lighten up the game, A lot of them were outdated, and if I removed them, it would break the save game. However, I still have all the save data of Sonder County on a USB drive because I was scared of losing all my data. So at any point, I could revive the series, but for now, it's deleted off my computer, and it's on a USB stick of all the save files for the game. So, if you guys ever do want me to revisit the county, I sure can. It'll just take me a fat minute because I'll need to reinstall all of the save data and reinstall all the mods and blah. Which, oh man, that's gonna be a freaking headache, and I have to do because, actually on second thought, don't vote to have that happen. But maybe in the future, if I can figure out how to reinstall all the mods, I'll go ahead and do that. But anyways, let's focus on the new and improved Sonder County. I want to give some notable mentions here about the fact that, this whole series about why I even restarted it in the first place. A big reason was, kind of hatred towards myself for using a map that another creator made for my YouTube series. It felt a little insensitive, and yes, I did ask in the summer, I was like, hey, can I use this map for my YouTube series? I edited it a little bit, and, I want to kind of use it because I think it's a really nice and detailed map, and I appreciate your work. And he was very nice. He was very nice in the email. He said, yeah, of course you can. Just give proper credits. But then I forgot his name. And then I forgot the map that I used. And I couldn't find the map on like when you start a new game and you go to custom maps, you're supposed to see the downloaded maps. I couldn't see the maps. So now I was just playing a series that I couldn't credit to anybody because I forgot his name. And I've still been doing some digging, and I still can't find the map for the life of me. I think I need to, actually sit down and do it. Because, I felt really bad, so that's what led me to think, okay, I need to make my own map. Because it also, it makes me not look like the best content creator if I'm going around using people's maps and not crediting them for it. So it was all just a me thing. I didn't want to light a fire with anybody. I know my channel is not big. However, I think it's good to, keep that off. At least keep the drama off until I have 100,000 subscribers. Come on. I don't want video essays about me just yet. Come on, man. It's like, if I could imagine a video essay being created of me, it would probably be like I said something really stupid during a live stream. Or it's like, Brett swore for the first time ever, and here's why. Except that's the funny thing, too, because I've dropped a bunch of F-bombs on my live streams before. Like, it's not an uncommon thing. I'm a human being, guys. I'm a human being. Of course I'm gonna swear. I'm gonna say swear words sometimes. That's just how the cookie crumbles, unfortunately. But you know what? I like discussing these things in my YouTube videos. I think it's nice to be able to clear the air and get, like, I'm a person, I'm just a person, and people do stupid things sometimes, that's just what it is. But anyways, I did a nice little intersection here. This is going to be the start of a town. It's going to be connected to the rest stop, but I think it'll be, like, kind of off from the rest stop. Like, it'll be really close to the rest stop, but I don't think it'll be, like, near it. Like, you'll have to do a journey in order to get to the rest stop. But I wanted this to be, like, actual small-town America. There will not be a single... There might be a couple row homes, there might be like an apartment or two, but in terms of apartment complexes, in terms of like actual big industry and all that stuff, there won't be. It'll be a very big town, but in terms of land size, not in terms of actual like population density. And I think that this town is, if my memory corrects me, because I have a Google Doc of all the towns that I plan to build in Sonder County for this series. This one, I'm pretty sure, is the town of Grapeseed, if I'm not mistaken. So, actually, yes, it is, because I have the Google Doc pulled up right now. Yeah, so this is the town of Grapeseed. So, hi, Grapeseed. Welcome. This is a very not dense town at all. The town of Grapeseed is completely barren of any sort of major industry. It's not an industrial powerhouse of the county. It is a very, very, very large area in terms of its land usage, which I think definitely does not get some credit where it's due. It's a very lively town, but a lot of people are like, well, you're kind of like taking all of our land and you're just building low-density homes, can you, like, expand? But they don't have the money to do that, so they just keep building tiny homes everywhere. And it works. It works. I mean, you know what? It's like, it's the saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So they have kept doing that for about 75 years now, and they're not planning on stopping, so bless the Lord for that. And speaking of the Lord, if there were churches in this game, they would be all over Grapeseed. Grapeseed, I feel, is one of those very religious towns. It was built off of religion. You know, like, it's a place that has, like, 5 different churches, and a lot of people are probably going to ask me, well, where are you getting the inspiration for this? That's because I live in a town that's like that. The Hudson Valley, Orange County, New York, is there's a lot of churches. There's churches everywhere. That's just how small town America is. you see them in cities, right? New York City, yeah, there's churches. But small town America, it's like, they're everywhere. They're on, like, every block. If I went on a 1-mile walk right now outside of my house, I would see and count 3 churches. One's a Baptist church, one's like a Catholic church, and then another one's another Catholic church. So I have 2 Catholic churches, and then I have a Baptist church. Unfortunately, I don't know the difference between the two. I really wish I wish I did, but you know, I know, like, one main church that I did go to pretty frequently before COVID, and that was this Baptist church that was near my house, like literally a block away from my house. It's really crazy. And I think I'll find a way. I'm pretty sure you can use the temples in order to do that. But yeah, so this area now, talking about the actual town instead of my own hometown, this is going to be the start of the first commercial area for the town. So this is going to be a really small commercial area, and this one's actually based off of my own hometown. I've noticed that even small town American areas do have areas that are like this. And I do appreciate Paradox Interactive for creating some of these parking spaces, because look at them, they look absolutely divine. And if you get the angles right, I'm telling you now, look at this. I managed to figure it out eventually. I think I did. I may have? No, I didn't. Wow, gosh, that sucks. But anyways, no, I was actually really proud of this build. This was the first custom plaza that I've ever made for the county. And I don't think that I've ever seen a lot of videos of people actually doing stuff like this, because I guess it's just not a popular thing to do. It's not a popular thing to build small in City Skylines 2. I see, like, people like, I think it's the Infrastructuralist. He has, like, a giant mega series, and, like, he builds massive cities, massive counties, massive areas. And they are highly detailed. And while I could sit down and do those, I'm kind of on a tight schedule as of late. So, you know, it's difficult for me to sit down and work on projects like that. But now I've kind of had my schedule figured out, so I don't think I'd worry about it for a while, about me posting, that is. So this is the first rendition of how I wanted the plaza to go. Originally, I was going to think, okay, I need to have, like, 2-story buildings, right? But not really. You know, I've noticed that a lot of small town plazas typically have 1-story supermarkets and things like that. Like, think of, like, a Dollar General. Like, you don't see 2-story buildings in a plaza. You see 1-story because each individual area of the plaza is ran by a separate business. So naturally enough, like, maybe you'll see, like, 1 or 2-story buildings, and they won't be that big, but because the top floor will probably be like the office space, then the bottom floor is like the commercial space. You see this with grocery stores a lot, not Walmart, but a place like Hannaford's has 2 stories. But then that's when I discovered these Japanese Regents Pack. God bless me for downloading this. Look at how absolutely divine these looked. So the mod that I was using for this was the static buildings, and they're basically clippable buildings, so they aren't fully buildings. They don't have businesses in them. However, later in the series, I actually managed to finagle some businesses inside of it by using that road out in front. And then basically what I did was I used Anarchy to put businesses inside of this plaza. So then now the buildings actually function, so cars will park in the parking lot and then go inside of the buildings. And I think that it's just a really, really good way. So, you know, if you guys are ever trying to create a plaza like this, just follow the way I did it, and you will actually create some pretty cool freaking buildings. Of course, I had to put some dirt in the background. You know, it's obvious. It's a staple of dirty plazas. Like, that's just how it goes, you know. You have to do it. You have to do it. And originally, I was gonna put some storefronts out in the front here, and I almost did, but the only reason why I didn't was because I kind of like the idea of this being a rebuilt area. You know, this was an area that was modernized and it was recreated. And then I forgot that I installed these really cool pathways. Look at this. It's the network line tool or something like that. So this gave it a nice lighter color instead of a darker color, which I think definitely contrasts well with the white of the buildings. The only thing that I'm looking for right now are logos for the buildings. I want real life commercial businesses. Unless if I can create my own logos, which I have been able to do as of late, but it's a little finicky and it takes a long time and they don't look that good. But like if I can have a Kmart building, like one of these buildings that have like the trapezoid like bulge out in the front, those buildings, that looks exactly like how a Kmart looks. And I wanted this county to kind of be set in like before all those businesses closed, before Toys R Us closed, you know, like those areas. Like I kind of wanted those areas to be exactly like that, like set in like 2015, 2016. I know the timer down there says 2025, but I consider this build to be mid-2010s based. Where, you know, everyone was starting to modernize and everyone was minimalizing everything and it looks all ugly now. Yeah, that's when it started. But anyways, you know, obviously we have to continue with that. We have to give some Old Town America too, so drive-thrus everywhere. I don't know what it is with America and drive-thrus. I guess just the idea of being car-centric and not being able and not needing to leave your car. And then I decided to put on this roundabout a nice fire station. My real town actually has a fire station on a roundabout, and it's a really interesting way of, you know, giving priority access to fire trucks when they need it. So, you know, adding in a little bit of parking on the side, you know, nothing too crazy, and it's something, and this area generally is inspired off of my own hometown, because I wanted Grapeseed to be small town America, you know, like maybe the town has a population of like 10, 15,000 people, but it's spread out over such a massive area that it doesn't even matter. Anyhow, continuing with this, you know, I didn't install a mod, and I regret doing this. It was one mod that I still haven't installed, but it's the one that gives infinite demand for all the buildings. I really need that right now, but when I try to play with it, it crashes the game, so I've been refraining from it, and I guess it's nice, you know, it allows the town and the county to grow naturally, instead of me having to place down things and then running out of ideas for videos, which isn't the reason why I even restarted the series, by the way. I don't want you guys thinking that I ran out of ideas, because obviously I have a community of people who watch my videos, and actually watch them quite often, which I haven't even mentioned that, but hey, 78 subscribers, that's quite a lot of people. Anywho, continuing on with the builds, this is going to be the first suburban area. It's not uncommon where you're going to see a lot of homes being built near small commercial plazas. Commercial plazas aren't loud areas, so it's not uncommon that, you know, a block away, that's where your house is. And it also provides some cheap housing, too, because then all your amenities are near there. It can also provide some expensive housing, too, for those who want it. So this area, again, of course, I use the Southwest, what is it? Is it the Southwest? Yeah, it's the Southwest Regions Pack that give me all of the boring homes that we know and love in America. Look at that. Ah, yeah, there you go. That is exactly what we need. Wow, it looks absolutely magnificent. But anyways, yeah, so this is one of the areas. I think that this build definitely is going to come out to shape into something really cool. And this is what I was talking about with clipping through the buildings. Take a look at this. So what I did was I disabled road snapping, and it created some nice logos on the top, which is what I liked, so I kept those buildings. And then I kept using the Japanese commercial buildings because they don't have a lot of like stuff connected to them, like fences and bushes and stuff like the North American ones do. And look at this. So I just clipped it in. Boom. Boom. And you can just clip these inside of the building. There might be like it might be a little finicky, but I think if I go back in with the Move It mod, I think I could just shove it down underground a little bit. And what cars will do now, you can see them parking in the parking lot because that's the only place where they can park. And when you want to build these areas and you want to make them look good, just make sure that you use... 1, anarchy is going to be needed, and 2, alleyways. Don't use regular roads, because then the cars will park on the side of the road, and it'll look really finicky. So you can see what I did. I used alleyways, and then the main road. If you want, you can widen the sidewalk, so then cars won't park on the side of the main street. But personally, I don't really mind that. I mean, my hometown has side road parking. It's very similar to this, except instead of having to park like inwards, which first of all, I don't know why the game lets you do that. I feel like we should have individual parking spaces that go across the thing, like have like a decal, so then cars can park horizontally instead of vertically, because that's a very unsafe way of having roadside parking. But I'm still appreciative that Paradox Interactive did add that to the game, because trust me, it makes my life a lot easier that I don't have to use a mod in order to do that, because then what if the mod breaks, you know what I'm saying? When you want to build out these grids too, another side tangent here, disable grid snapping. This is an option that basically makes your roads snap right into an area, and it can make the grid break for one, which can make your builds look really ugly. So then this is what I went ahead and did. Again, just extended the suburban area. I'm not going to have suburban sprawl. That's not very common. It's common in the Midwest. However, I think this series will be more leaning towards New York and the New England area and the tri-state area region, like those areas that's outside of the city, not the big cities. So you're not going to see any Jersey City builds, don't worry. Maybe I'll create a series in the future where I'll create a big city. But I like small towns, so I'm going to build small towns because this is my channel. Anywho, yeah, so this whole area was really, really fun to build. And I feel like... you know, like, in terms of suburban sprawl, you're probably not going to see any of it. Maybe a little bit, like, would this be considered suburban sprawl? Not really, actually. This is just a low-density neighborhood. The whole point of suburban sprawl is that you can't make it dense. That's the thing. And it provides cheap housing. This, in the future, realistically, a person could come in with a contract saying, hey, we're going to demolish this neighborhood, and we can use the roads instead of having to tear everything down and have to rebuild new roads. We'll use the roads to create an apartment complex, and that is what's commonly done because it's a cheaper alternative. You'd be surprised how often urban planners and city planners plan for the future. It's not very uncommon for them to do that because it's just simply a matter of, you know, like, hey, we need to plan for the future so that future generations can prosper from it. Common example are floodgates, building near rivers. You got to make sure that, you know, global warming is a real thing. So you have to make sure that you have accommodations for that for the next 100 years. So yeah, if you ever want to become an urban planner, just, you know, do you think ahead? Are you an anxious mess and do you pre-plan everything? Congrats, you're probably going to be a pretty good urban planner. Anywho, and I know what I'm talking about because I want to be an urban planner. Not that, like, I am one, so I don't know what I'm talking about, but, like, you know. Anyways, this signature building, which was part of the Northeastern Pack, was pretty cool to build. I absolutely loved it. I loved creating this custom town in general, and hopefully you guys did. So if you guys did enjoy this video, please leave a like and subscribe and comment down below what you want to see next from the channel. As always, everybody, I'm taking requests in the comments, so let me know down below what you want. Also, make sure to join my Discord, follow my Twitter and my Twitch if you'd like, and if you use Twitter, then go ahead and do that. But also, go download this mod. It's in the link in the description below. As always, everybody, my name is Brett, and I appreciate that you guys decided to sit down and join me today to play some City Skylines 2. And if this inspired you at all, then leave a comment down below, and of course, subscribe. Please subscribe. I like to see big number go up. But anyways, guys, peace out, stay frosty, stay curious, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye!